All right. Good morning out there. This is K4VWD, CQ, the Old Friends Club, OSP. CQ, the Old Friends. This is Kilowatt 4 Victor Whiskey Delta, K4VWD.
November
CQ. Our net meets AM only on Thursday mornings at 9 o'clock, Tuesday mornings at 9 o'clock, and Sunday evenings at 6:30, all on 3715. So I got a little noise, so I may need some help this morning. CQ, the Old Friends Net. It's here in Greenville, South Carolina. It's 73 degrees and the sun's shining. And our next luncheon is on the 7th of September for your future planning. 7th of September at the Golden Corral. Security Old Friends Net. This is K4VWD, and I will stand by for calls.
Good morning, Lee. WA4LLR.
N4LQ.
November 4, Charlie Lima Yankee. WB3OS. WB4NKL.
WB4ARK. W4 Victor, Romeo Oscar. W4VRL. Okay, I missed the station right after COY and before NKL. Who was that?
K3OS.
Was that Oscar Sierra?
That is correct. Over.
I'm sorry, buddy. Did you copy that?
Yeah, it's K3OS.
K3OS. That's what I thought, but I wasn't sure. Okay, here's what I got so far. LLR, Q, COI, OS, NKL, ARK, and PRO. Who else do we have?
NC4ON, Mr. Lee.
I'm sorry I couldn't copy that. Who was that?
Norway, Charlie 4, Oscar, Norway. You copy?
On. I heard Reed, so there may be somebody else in there also. CQH, I got you. Who else?
NC4ON and a pilot.
Okay, there was a double there, but I think we got Stefan ON after Reed. Anybody else?
K4GDN. Oscar, Charlie.
Excuse me, I heard the Oscar Charlie, but I wasn't sure what else was there. So give me the whole call again, please.
This is K4GDN.
Well, good morning to you also, but I'm still not copying it. I got noise. So somebody, let's see, buddy, did you copy that?
No, I didn't copy it. There was a pile up.
SW4UOC, Tom. Oh, it's Tom. Hey, Tom. Boy, it's good to hear you. I'm sorry I'm having trouble, but I got some local noise. Okay, let me scoot down the list one more time, and then we will stand by for calls one more time. At LLR, N4LQ, CLY, OS, NKL, ARK, VRO, CQH, ON, and UOC. Who else do we have? We got GDN out there.
We got George.
Okay, George, I'm having trouble with GDN. All right. Man, that's quite a list. That's a great Thursday morning here. So, take a look at your notes, and here we go. LLR to N4LQ to CLY to OS to NKL to ARK to VRO to CQH to ON to UOC and GDN, and then back to me unless we got somebody else. Anybody else?
W4MEC.
Hey, Charlie, good morning. Well, you're the tail end right now. Anybody else? Okay, Dave, go ahead and start us off. And George, you turn it to Charlie. WH4LLR in the group, K4VWD.
K4VWD in the group. WA4LR. Well, good morning to everybody. 62 degrees, very foggy up here in Burnsville, North Carolina. And I'm going to have to do one and done. I just got a call that they're bringing something to deliver it to church, and they're just about 20 minutes out, so I'm going to have to make this one short and sweet. But Lee, thanks for calling that. Good to be here with you today. Hope everybody has a wonderful day and a great rest of the week. Lord willing, Irvin and I are heading out in the morning for Huntsville. We're going to try to make that one after a several year drought, but looking forward to that and seeing a bunch of folks I haven't seen in a while. So everybody take care. 7-3, God bless, and Lord willing, we'll catch up with you possibly Sunday afternoon, if not Tuesday, hopefully. So Steve, here it comes. N4LQ and the group. WA4LLR. 7-3, everybody.
WA4LR in the group, N4LQ. Okay, well, good morning, everybody, and 73s to Dave, and hope everything works out for you today. And hope you have a great trip and a good ham fest down at Huntsville. I'd love to go there, but that's like an all-day drive from here. Running the AF68 LMAC and the loop antenna and the AL1200 amp, D104 mic, etc. And listening on the SDR Malachite. So, Clive, over to you, N4CLY, N4LQ.
All right, thank you, Steve. Good morning to everybody. It's 72 degrees and sunny in Ellenboro, and I'm on my modern rig today, so I haven't quite got my tube rig sounding good yet. It sounds terrible right now, and I'm working on it. I'll get it fixed in the next month or so, and then I'll start checking in on that. So I'm going to turn it over to K3OS, Kilo 3 Oscar Sierra from November 4, Charlie Lima Yankee.
Okay, Clyde, thank you very much, and good morning, everybody. Actually, good to hear you last night as well, Clyde. Conditions weren't great on 160, but I did hear you clear up here. A reasonable day here in Hickory, and I'm running the Gonset Twins this morning, just barefoot, about 45 watts, so won't hold it too long. Conditions are not as great as we'd like to hear it, but I do hear Cliff, WB4NKL, K3OS, go ahead.
K3OS, WB4NKL. The Gonset Twins sound great up here.
Gary, 40 watts is making it across the mountain just fine. 60, it was 61. I hadn't checked here in a little bit. 61 degrees. Feels like got a different feel to the air, almost like a fall morning. But they tell me it's temporary. It's going to get back up into some of the hottest weather we've had all summer here next week. So, not looking forward to that. That fall is my favorite time of the year. Everybody's sounding pretty good here, so I'll send it on around. Big group here. Go ahead, buddy. WB4 ARK, WB4 NKL.
WB4 NKL, WB4 ARK. Okay, Cliff. Yeah, we got very good signal report for everyone this morning. And looks like it's overcast here. And it's in the 70s, about 72. And we haven't had any rain in several days now, so we're still looking for some rain to help out with the plants, but doesn't look like we're going to get any for a few more days. So we'll see, unless we have a pop-up storm. So with that, over to Lee. K4. Wait a minute. Excuse me. Over to Ray. K4. Excuse me. W4VRO. WB4ARK.
Okay, buddy. WB4ARK and the net. This is W4VRO. Thanks, buddy, and good morning. Good morning, Lee. Thank you for calling the net. Good morning to everyone checking in. Good group this morning. The band is very quiet here. Atmospheric noise is very low, but I and Reed and Tom, I think, are on the fringe of the propagation this morning. Copying all stations, but all stations are fairly weak. So, Reed and Tom, special good morning to you. You check in with us from time to time, but not often enough. Over to you, Reed. W2CQH and the group, W4VRO. Anyway, good copy tomorrow. And I'm so happy this weekend. I'm going. More interested in what is the Space Center. I'm going to heavy cars but I'm going to Shelby, which is coming up at the end of a couple of years. Spencer dead. Oh, that means it takes 4 minutes. The 2 feet great to die.
He's Don Stefan.
All right, I didn't hear very much of that. Good morning, everybody, and thank you, Lee, for doing the net. This is NC Photo In. Sorry, Reed, but I didn't really hear anything from your station. Just completely another here. But all right, I'm on my 7100 this morning with RO and 500 solid state amp. This is my 27 microphones. So there you go. This is my remote station, but for the moment I'm running it direct, so I worked all the glitches with the audio. Tuesday. 6 months. 2 degrees here in Denver. So I'll send it over to George, I believe. George, here we go. K4G, and then go ahead.
I'm not using the vintage rig as I should.
Just a minute. I'm gonna tweak a little bit here. Let's see. Well, that's about the best I can do. I'm running a Flex 6400M. My only vintage is my 30L1 linear that I'm using to give it a little bit of boost. The band is up and down, but the band is kind of quiet. I don't see a lot of noise. I did miss who I'm supposed to turn it to, though. I didn't get that down into my notes fast enough. So who's ever supposed to take it, or W4VRO, you reorganize it. I'm going to just say, I'm going to listen around, but I am going to say 73. Got a lot of things to do. We're still in kind of the moving in phase. We moved in March, but there's still a lot to do. W4VRO in the group, W4UOC.
I believe that what you've got, Lee, is a third transmission. Very rare. That came before the MX and the 5 and the HR that you've got there, that was Fritz's. And it was not uncommon for people to modify those quite a bit. So I am assuming that this was temporarily like on the sun side. We had some scattered showers last night, supposed to have some more today. Now it's supposed to get up again. So we're going to prepare for Charlie. Yeah, okay, very good. Ray, this is K4VWD. Well, that was a double there. But I did hear Tom. Tom, it's sure good to hear you, and thank you for being here. I do appreciate it. It's sure good to hear you. It really is. And it goes to George, and George turns it to Charlie, and Charlie turns it back to me. So go ahead, George. K4GDN in the group. K4VWD.
Called it.
Wow.
Station, you had NC4ON, and there was another station under him transmitting the whole time, and then W4UOC transmitting on top of him, and then Ray transmitting on top of him. So with the second station, so that's a royal mess there. So I didn't hear NC4ON or anything after that. So you might want to have a redo.
George, K4GDN. This is K4VWD. Go ahead. You copy me, Lee? Sorry, K4VWD, K4GDN. I can hear you very light, but I can hear you, George. Go ahead. Okay, I'll go through it again. I was getting the information from Charlie on your HRO, and from what Charlie was telling me, what I think you have is the third version of the pre-war HRO. It did not have the serial number tag on it, but it had a gray painted chassis, and it had square IF can shields. Now, the serial number is stamped on the chassis near the antenna insulator. So you may have to take it out of the cabinet to even be able to see that. So anyway, that's what we have here. And Dan seems to be kind of strange this morning. So with that, I guess I'll turn it to Charlie. W4MEC K4GDN.
I think he stopped transmitting, did he?
Yeah, he turned it to you.
Yeah, I got that. But just to say, he went to the end of his transmission, he faded out on me. K4GDN in the group, W4MEC. Well, sorry I busted in there, but Stefan started talking, and then UOC started talking on top of him, and then there was a third carrier in there, and then Ray. So that was, my guy was heterodynes on that transmission, so I didn't copy any of those fellas. So, and anyway, it's 68 degrees here, clear skies, and nice day outside, and accomplishment of the day yesterday was I finally repaired my walk behind mower that has not run. It's run, but I haven't used it for, I don't know, 2 or 3 years. I got a push mower that was just as quick, but it quit having any oomph to get up the hills. It wouldn't make it. So, and I tell you what, a walk behind mower that doesn't propel itself is a booger to push. So.
Anyway, I actually went down and decided, I knew what the problem was, but I didn't have an illustrated parts breakdown for it to find the part number. And I found it online and I found the part and then I stuck it in Amazon and there it was for $8 for free shipping. So I got my bearing and put it in and took off like a scalded dog yesterday. So I only cut the part of the backyard and part of the front before it got too dark, but it was nice. Nice to not have to push up the hill. So, or, you know, because you got to go up the hill when you get to the top, you turn around and go back down. So one way or the other, you got to push it up the hill. And what was interesting was I started in the backyard and I had taken half of my 160 meter dipole down before the reefers were here doing all the work because it was in the way. I started in the first swath, and all of a sudden I saw a wire in front of my mower, and I said, good grief, I've wrapped this thing around that mower blade. But I hadn't. It was just 60 feet of the wire was there with bare copper sticking out. I go, what in the world happened here? I couldn't find the other 60 feet nowhere. So I finished cutting the top. I said, well, let me just go do the bottom. I still had enough light. And there was the wire. And I'm going, how in the world did it get down here? So I don't know if an animal got tangled up in it and ran down the hill real scared or whatever, but they succeeded in breaking the wire. How, I do not know because it was solid, not solid copper, but copper covered steel. And I don't know if they bit it and were able to break it, but when I skinned it back and tied it back together, and I skipped back the remote end of it there. About 3 inches of insulation had no wire in it, which was about the amount on the other end sticking out. So somehow it broke there and I got dragged down the hill. So anyway, so now I got my wire back together and I can put the antenna up. All because of an $8 bearing that maybe solved the problem there. So anyway. So let's go back to Lee. I think I'm official till in Charlie. K4VWD in the group. W4MEC.
Okay, Charlie, very good. This is K4VWD. Do we have anybody else that wants to join us? Please call me now. Don't hear anybody. So, 7:30 to Dave. Dave signed out, and so did Tom, UOC. So, Stefan, you turn it to George. So let me run down the list one more time. Steve starts it off this time. LQ to CLY to OS to NKL to ARK to VRO to CQH to ON to GDN to MEC. All right. So Steve, go ahead. N4LQ in the group, K4VWD.
K4VWD in the group, N4LQ. Wow, that's one of the worst messes I've ever seen. I think there was 4 people transmitting at the same time, and UOC beat them all out here on this end with a long transmission. And so I think Tom said 73s. And Charlie, okay on your complex fiasco there. That sounds like fun. Yeah, I'm trying to do some remodeling work in the basement, just simply changing some stairs down at the bottom and recarpeting it and putting down some tile and stuff. And I went to Lowe's to look at carpet, and I thought, well, I may be able to use this piece, and asked for some tacks, and they said, no, we're out of carpet tacks. So I said, well, phooey on it, and I just left, came home, and found the tiles. I'm going to use tiles instead, and they had, of course, they got carpet tacks. So I just went ahead and ordered everything from Amazon, and it'll be here in a few days. So it works. Anyway, these stores are, seems like they just run out of everything these days. Not sure what's going on. And good morning to you, Clyde. Good to have you. Hope you can get your boat anchor or whatever it is up and running. And I'm curious, I'm sure everybody is, what manner of tube type rig you have there. and anxious to hear it. And Gary, your Gossett twins are doing good. They sound great, good audio, and not real strong, but you're in there. And the only one I had trouble copying was Reed, and kind of weak, but I can hear you in there for a while. And Stefan, we missed everything you said in the melee there. So, Clyde, go ahead and take it. N4CLY, N4LQ.
I could hear 4 people slightly off frequency from one another. But sounds like you're doing a lot of it. I broke my right wrist and ring finger on my left hand on July 31st. Big, small. And yesterday when I got on the it was the first time I was able to even push the PCC button. So I didn't need to do that. Rebuilt. Anything special. It's just an old Hallicrafter SR160. And I may not be keeping it. I may sell it. Somebody wants it. I may sell it to rebuild. Rebuilt it. The radio got recapping it. As far as cleaning the inside. Had a lot of that old on the steel and all that out. With first radio at all. $25. The actual shipping cost, but that was expensive because the power supply and the radio was both really heavy. And yeah, so, somebody talking about cutting grass earlier. I haven't been able to cut my grass July 31st, so it's not 3 feet tall, and I can't get a hold of my push mower either with both hands. Yeah, it's hard when you got no good hands. Oscar Sierra from N4CLY.
Now go ahead, Gary.
Okay, on round 1, I copied him just perfectly. I didn't hear, but at my noise level, which is on this meter running around S9, I can't hear Clyde. But I'm going to let this be my last round here. Conditions are not good here. As I say, my local noise just seems to be a little higher than normal, and most everybody's just down a little bit. So, been interesting. I don't know why, but there it is. All right, over to you, Cliff. Everybody have a great rest of the week. WB4NKL K3OS.
K3OS, WB4NKL. Okay, Gary. Band's conditions are changing. I didn't copy Clyde that go around either, so it's I guess the band's changing. I'm gonna say 73s too. It's kind of cool out right now. I'm gonna jump out and get a walk in and before it gets hot. So enjoy it this morning. Thanks for calling it, Lee, and we'll try to catch everybody Sunday. 73s, go ahead, buddy. WB4ARK, WB4NKL.
WB4NKL, WB4ARK. Well, I had a pretty good copy on everybody that time. And the weather conditions are still about the same here. No direct sunlight, just an overcast sky. And we took our cat in for a visit to the vet yesterday, and on the way back we passed a local lumber company, and there was 4 tractor trailers fully loaded in front of the facility in the turn lane. That's it's 4-lane high road. 274 is at that point, and has center turn lanes. So there was 4 tractor trailers lined up bumper to bumper, and one being unloaded inside the facility. So I guess they must be expecting some upturn in building. So I guess that's the way it's going to be for a while. There is a lot of building going on in this area. Let's see. We're waiting on a couple of items from eBay and to get started on. And as soon as they come in, we'll get on the job there and get them working for my son. So I guess that's about it for right now. So we'll send it over to Ray, W4VRO, WB4ARK.
WB4ARK and the net W4VRO. Very good, buddy. Well, in that big pile up, I will take complete credit for that. Reed, I think, turned it to Stefan, and then Tom was not copying Stefan. So Tom said, did he turn it to me? I knew net control was not copying Tom. So I said to Tom, no, you're next, Tom, meaning next after Stefan. Very poor choice of words on my part. But then Tom, when he finished, turned it to me. And I knew that Lee wouldn't hear Tom doing that, but so I turned it back to net control, knowing that Lee, in his very masterful way of running the net, could straighten it all out. And indeed he did. So, well, in spite of all that, it's been a good net and a good list of check-ins. And Clyde, good to hear from you. I heard you once on the net before, but not very often. And of course, I don't check in all the time. But name here is Ray, and I'm south of Newman, Georgia, about 50 miles south of Atlanta. So thanks again, Lee, and 73 to all. Look for you next time. And it goes over to, let me get this right this time. Goes over to Lee, W2CQH in the group, W4VRO.
W4VRO, W2CQH. Ray, you're the strongest signal. LQ is next. We are losing the band as the sun gets higher. And the absorption goes up. So time to sign clear. The rig here is the usual ORC13, 2590 watts. Coax set dipole. The receiver is my old faithful BC348. That was the early days of ham radio. Yeah. So let's go over to a Stefan here, Jeremy, for
yeah, Roger Reed. I heard that last transmission just above the noise level, W2CQH and the group NC4ON. I hope I'm not transmitting on top of anybody else right now. All right, no problem. I copy everybody so far, except for you, Reed. You're a little bit weak this morning. But I'm on my 7100 and using an Electro Voice RE27 microphone and using a small amplifier, ALS 500. And Steve, you're sounding good with your radio there. And also, what was it, Gary, with the twins? The Kenwood sounds beautiful, and you're coming in beautiful. So good job there, I would say, with these old Kenwoods. All right, very good. Well, I'll send it over now to George again. So K4GDN, here it comes, NC4ON.
K4GDN, K4WD. Lee, thanks for calling the net. And I was curious, did you get the information I had on your HRO? If not, I'll probably get Charlie an email and he can pass it on to you. But I think what it is, it's the third version prior to the militaries. So it was out prior to World War II. Anyway, I'm on the Marzielmac this morning and feeding about 7 or 8 watts into my homebrew 811. And I guess it's putting out about 125 watts. I'm going to say 73 on this one, but I'm going to listen to the end. So coming to you, Charlie. W4 MEC in the group, K4 GDM.
Okay, George. K4 GDM and the old friends W4 MEC. Real good copy that time. I'll look forward to that. Let's do that email. Boy, I would have thought that with the 6-pin tubes in that thing, it was like one of the first versions of the HRO. But interesting to get the history of it. Trees. Well, buddy, when you commented about the trees and all that, well, the first thing that stuck in my head was all the trees that have been blown down in the last month or so in North Carolina. If they've been harvesting the hardwoods out of them, and or maybe even the pine, and taking it there to be processed into lumber. But I have to agree, they've been building like crazy here, and it's kind of like the darn old movie there, Field of Dreams, about building the baseball field. If you build it, they will come. Well, the number of homes and the number of apartments they've been building here kind of offsets the amount of actual work for people living in them that they could be doing. And the only big plant that's coming in is Pratt & Whitney is building a helicopter engine plant up here along the French Broad River in Buncombe County, the south side of Buncombe County. And that's probably the only one that would be bringing on people, but they'd be some very specialized people. But it's not a smokestack industry. I don't think they're, if they're pouring, melting and pouring metal, I don't know. But if it is, it would have had to been very clean to let Asheville let them anywhere near the place. So, but they're kind of, my wife follows this group on the internet on a Facebook site that she just monitors it, because it's a really good way to get information about what's going on in Hendersonville, because the paper stinks and the local radio station is kind of hit and miss on stuff. And when you listen to the scanner, it's all encrypted, so you can't hear anything. But the Facebook page about Hendersonville has got lots of information. And what she sees on there is all these people saying, we're moving to Hendersonville and we're coming in and where's this, what's that? And it's funny, and the majority of the replies from the people on that site say, no, don't come here, move somewhere else. So it's kind of like filling up, and we're going on. What are those people going to do? You build 900 apartments and a whole bunch of houses. And the first thing they do is they cut down every single tree, hardwoods, poplars, pine trees, hemlocks. They just cut it flat to the ground, and then they start building, which makes no sense in a conservative world, when you're trying to conserve the trees and stuff like that. So about the last 5 places I know of, the first thing they did was bulldoze everything. And they did that to 100 acres here to the northeast side of town, just flat as a pancake, and not a tree or bush in sight. So it doesn't make much sense to me, but that's the way it is. So let's see. Goes back to Lee, K4VWD in the group, W4MEC.
Okay, Charlie, very good. This is K4VWD. Well, we've got Gary signed out, and Cliff signed out, and Ray signed out, and Tom signed out. So here's the sequence. We start off with Steve going to Clyde. Clyde, you go to Buddy, ARK. Buddy, you go to Reed, CQH. CQH to Stefan. Stefan to George, Jones to Charlie, and Charlie back to me. And so 7-3, everybody that signed out, God bless. I hope you have a wonderful week. And I look forward to talking to you on Sunday. So, Steve, go ahead. N4LQ in group K4BWD.
Okay. K4BWD and the group N4LQ. Well, Shelby, of course, is the city of pleasant living, but we did have a scandal at the Nissan car dealership here, which is an amazing place. They built this about 3 years ago, and it is a multi-million-dollar building covering several acres. It's just absolutely beautiful. But apparently they were involved in some illegal activity there, and they have filed the DOT has filed 140 charges against the employees at the Nissan dealership for everything from mileage to selling wrecked cars that weren't revealed and not giving titles out, and illegal use of temporary tags, and it's a total mess. I think there's like a dozen employees or more that's involved in this, and of course the head guy that ran it, he has sort of fled the scene, and he's gone somewhere else, but they're after him. They got him on 110 counts of various things. So there you go. Car dealerships are an interesting breed. Anyhow, 73s to all those that left, and we'll probably endure till the end here. But Clyde, I did not copy anything that you said. For some reason, the band changed and you were just down to nothing, and it's really strange because you're practically next door to me. So that's the way it goes here sometimes. N4CLY to take it. N4LQ.
All right, Steve. Thank you. Yeah, that was my fault. I didn't realize my amplifier turned off, so I was only putting out about 13 watts. And anyway, what I said earlier was that radio is nothing special. I bought it on eBay for $20. It was an old Hallicrafters SR160, and I rebuilt it. It works great. The audio is terrible. Rebuilt the power supply. I sandblasted all the corrosion out using talcum powder and a 2,000 PSI air compressor that I fill up my, it's a scuba tank air compressor, and I fill up my 5,000 PSI air bottles with it. So it cleaned that out great with that high pressure talcum powder. All that corrosion's gone. Everything's out. It looks good. Sounds good, except it doesn't talk good yet. I'm going to have to get a good microphone, good amplifier, and filter the audio out a little bit to get it working. But I'm probably not going to keep it. I already got a guy that wants it, so I may just sell it, and make a good profit off of it. But I didn't know about the Nissan place here. That was interesting. I'm going to have to look that up and see what else going on. It sounds like some people going to jail over this one, because they take their cars stuff serious nowadays. Anyway, I'm going to turn it over to Buddy, and I'm going to say 7-3 to everybody, and I will try to be on Sunday, and I'm going to try to get on the net more often. So 7-3, N4CLY, over to Buddy.
N4CLY, WB4ARK. Okay, Clyde, I got a good copy on you that time, and I was copying you before, but it was marginal. Now, I'm wondering how you get 2,000 PSI out of your air compressor. That's a lot of pressure. It must be a special air compressor. Well, we are in talcum powder. I've never heard of using talcum powder to sandblast a piece of equipment before. That's very interesting.
So I have to keep that in mind. So we'll say 73, and thanks, Lee, for doing the net, and turn it over to Reed, W2CQH, WD4ARK.
Hey, Reed, you copy? I don't see anything here.
It would be me. Well, can I take it?
Oh, I don't hear Reed and Stefan. I guess you're next, right?
All right, this is MC Photoing. All right, well, thank you for doing the net, Lee. Appreciate it. Hope you guys have good rest of your days and a good weekend coming up. And for those who go to Homesville there or the Hempstead, have fun. And we're looking forward to that next week. 73s, and back to you there, George. K4GDN. Here it comes, MC Photoing.
Goes to George.
He checked out.
Oh,
So it goes to me. I heard USC check out. Let me double check here. It's NC4ON in the group W4MEC. Let me listen, make sure. Okay, real good. It's W4MEC. Yeah, well, the classic case of folks not writing down the sequence. Happens to me all the time. Let's see. That's interesting about that car dealership, man. It might explain why my daughter got pulled over the day before yesterday in her new used car with a temporary tag on the back. And it wasn't a Nissan, it was a Mercury something or other. I can't remember what we got her. But they pulled her over and questioned her tag, paper tag, and then wanted to see all the paperwork, which she had in the glove box. And they said, okay, but that was that story there. She was not very happy with being pulled over. So anyway, let's see what else is. I wanted to let everybody know who's left. I should have said this on the second go around. Glenn has got a Viking 2 and an NC300 he wants to sell. Now, I got a trip plan to go see him. If anybody wants to buy that, or if anybody knows somebody looking for a Viking 2 or an NC300, so let me know, and I will bring them back and bring them to the lunch in September. And save you a trip all the way down to Sunset. So again, Viking 2, NC300, email them, give them a call, or tell somebody you know that's looking for a nice AM rig. And he's had the Viking 2 on the air, and he's received on the NC300. So everything is seems to be working. So again, if you got somebody that's wanting to get into boat anchors, here's a good economical way to do it. I wonder what happened to Ken W4 KHZ. You know, we got him set up with what's he got now? He's got a Ranger, and he's got a receiver, and everything. He's got all his gear, but he hadn't got on the air with us again. He used to be a regular check-in years ago, and but lost all his good AM gear and sold it or whatever. And I swapped him. I can't remember where I got the Ranger. I got it from Glenn, and I swapped him that for a DX100B. So, and he was ready to go because now he had a transmitter that he could actually move around on the table. So, but hopefully he will. If he's listening, hopefully he will get everything going there. So let's see. That's about it for the notes. So I will turn it back to Lee, K4VWD, and the group W4MEC.
Okay, Charlie, this is K4VWD. Well, first of all, I want to apologize for not being able to keep things straight because of bad conditions, but I'm sorry I couldn't keep them lined up. Let me take a quick standby here and see if anybody's got any final comments. Any final comments for the Old Friends Net? This is K4VWD.
Yeah, N4COY. All right, I'm going to answer Buddy's question. Buddy, my air compressor goes up to about 6,000 PSI. It is a special air compressor. It's made for scuba diving and for air rifle charging. I hunt deer with an air rifle. It's a 4.57 air rifle, huge caliber, and I have to pump that air rifle up to 4,500 PSI to be able to hunt with it, and that's its normal pressure. So I had to buy the air compressor special just for that high pressure. All right, back to net. November 4, Charlie, Lima, Yankee, 7-3.
Okay, let's see. Buddy, did you get all that? I guess Buddy's gone. Any other final comments? This is K4VWD.
I'll say this, N4LQ about,
You got it from Harbor Freight. Because many years ago, one of the first things they sold that was affordable was a 5,000 PSI compressor for filling scuba tanks. Because the commercial ones of other types were very expensive. But anyway, the reason I mentioned that, there was a fellow up in North Henderson County that held a world record for shooting a beer can full of concrete at one time, 3 miles. He had a homemade 20 millimeter, built on a 20 millimeter gun mount, air fired cannon, and a metal soda can or a beer can, which are made to exacting tolerances, believe it or not. They're so exact that you could put the beer can in the muzzle of this cannon and push it down the barrel, it would fit. And when you let go, it would pop back out. That's how, fine the dimensions were. But anyway, he had that Harbor Freight 5,000 PSI compressor, and he would pump that thing up. And one time he had the record for shooting beer cans 3 miles. And there was actually a competition, just like pumpkin chunking. So I guess you don't want to be downrange from a beer can full of concrete. But back to you, Lee, K4VWD, W4 Michigan.
Okay, Charlie. This is K4VWD. Any other final comments?
yeah, I have one.
Go ahead, Steve.
I just wanted to say to Clyde that rig that's for sale by Glenn N4AK would make you a great AM setup with the Viking 2. That's a 100-watt transmitter and NC300 receiver, all tubes, AM. That SR160 won't even do AM anyway, so just get rid of that. That's all I had. N4LQ.
Okay, anybody else with final comments? Don't hear anybody. All right. 7-3, God bless everybody. We'll shut down the net till Sunday, I guess. So I hope everybody has a blessed weekend. Look forward to talking to you on Sunday. This is K4VWD, now closing the old French net. So long.
N4LQ, NC4ON.
Yeah, Stefan, go ahead.
Nico sounds good, and yeah, I copy you beautiful. How does the 7100 sound through that little SDR radio there?
It sounds good to me, and I've got you on live stream here if you want to go watch it.
Okay, yeah, we'll look forward to see that email there.
All right then. Well, you gonna be working hard today?
We're gonna get there. I got a few Teams meetings coming up, so hopefully I will have a good day. All right, Keith, appreciate it. 73.
Good morning, 73 N4LQ.